Morning again, peeps. How are we doing? Well, been to the doctors. Everything's good. It was check up on my diabetes. My blood sugar levels are low, or lower than they were previously. My pulse rate good. The blood pressure in the right area. I've actually lost about 1 kilo in weight. So everything's moving in the right direction. Good morning, sir. Everything's moving in the right direction. So how do I do it? Well, this is one way, tabbing. Yeah, it keeps me exercising. Means I'm not sat on my lazy backside and doing nothing. So it's all got to be good, isn't it? But you know what? When you get weather like this, yeah, you've got to get outside, ain't you? You've really got to get outside. Okay, so I did a video this morning. Very sad one, very poignant one, to be honest. About my mate Jamie. Like I say, I worked with him for 10 years. But I've had one of my subscribers, Jeff, pop up on a message. And he's informed me about a charity called Andy's Man's Club. Now, search them online and you'll find them. Unfortunately, Jeff was saying that he couldn't put it on YouTube, what they do for support and everything. YouTube wouldn't allow it, so I'm going to see if this video gets brought down, but I doubt if it will, because it's all about doing with men's mental health. Now, all of you blokes out there, yeah, you've got to look at yourself and go, do you know what? Yeah, I don't like talking about my health. Yeah, well, sorry guys, you're in the wrong area. Yeah, about your mental health, about your physical health. Yeah, don't be shy to actually go forward, speak to the quack, speak to a professional or whatever it may be. Yeah, because without your physical health and without your mental health, you haven't really got a lot, have you? Yeah, and just a quick chat with the doc or a quick chat with the old best mate, or even to someone you don't even know. Yeah, it could actually help you out. And like I said in the previous video I did, anyone that wants to reach out for help from me, please feel free to do so. Drop me a private message on my YouTube channel. If you want to leave me your mobile number, do that. Everything stays confidential. Whatever is said between me and you stays between me and you. It's as simple as that. But yeah, so like I say, today, beautiful day. I walked back from Corn today, there and back 4 miles, but I can't give up on this beautiful weather, can I? No, of course I can't. So I'm going to do a little tab out today, probably end up doing about 8 miles, maybe 12, seeing how I'm feeling. So let's go back to my career, shall we? Yeah, let's first of all talk about what happened to me when I finally left the services. Like many people, didn't know what the hell was going to happen. Yeah, I'd been in the army for 23 years and didn't really know much about civilian life. The only thing that did help me was my last posting was at 17 Port and Maritime Workshops, Remy, down in Marchwood. Fancy sending a Pompey letter to Southampton. Oh God. Yeah. But I had to work with a few civilian companies down there with the work that I was doing. So I ended up, when I left the army, I decided I didn't want to do electrics or vehicle electrics anymore. I wanted to try something different. So for my resettlement course, I did a computer engineers course with a company called Serco out in Nantwich near Stoke. Yeah, 6 weeks there. Taught me all about network management, how to fix PCs, printers, anything IT basically. Yeah. So I did that course, ended up with a sitting guilds. Good morning, sir. Good morning. Ended up with a sitting guilds in IT, and left the army. Last day in the army was 25th of July 2000. I then, in August, began working for a company at that time called Aspect Internet. Yeah, one of the very first website design companies. And Aspect Internet, when I joined, I was about number 25 in through the door. Like I say, the internet was in its infancy then, and we had a few websites that we did. Biggest one we ended up doing was F1.com, the Formula One website. But we did Delia Smith's cooking site. We actually hosted Barclays Bank's website, and I'll tell you a little story about what happened with that one. But yeah, we did all sorts. So my job when I first started was just building PCs. As I say, I was number 25 into the door. We were in an open planned office in a place called White Bear Yard in central London on Clerkenwell Road. And within the space of less than a year of me joining the company, we'd suddenly expanded to about 150 people, most of them all web designers. Yeah, some amazing people. Two of the lads I worked with were actual ethical hackers, as they were called. Yeah, these guys have been breaking into various sites and stuff from the age of 14 illegally, and here they were now being employed to do the job legally. So like I say, one of the sites that we hosted was Barclays Bank's official website, and we were asked if we could breach the web portal, yeah, just as a test, do a security breach. Well, one of the lads, known as Tricky, he fired in a code into the website, and unfortunately got one digit wrong in the code that he fired in. And guess what he did? He closed off every single Barclays Bank cash point machine around the UK. Yeah, you couldn't get money out, you couldn't get a statement, you couldn't do bugger all. Yeah, and that was just by accident. Yeah, and took Tricky about 40 minutes to figure out what he'd done wrong. Yeah, and I was helping with him. Learned a little bit about programming while I was working with him. But yeah, we then brought the site back up, or brought the cash point machines back up, and everyone was happy. But for 40 minutes, we were the most unpopular people for Barclays Bank going. Yeah, because all they got was phone calls complaining about the fact that people couldn't get their money out of their cash point machines. They could get out of any other machine, NatWest, Lloyd's, anything like that. But if they went to a Barclays Bank, no, not a chance. So like I say, I was working in central London. They started off as I say, Aspect Internet. We then moved from White Bear Yard, yeah, to a place called Civvy Street, which is the road behind Hatton Garden, yeah, the big jewellery centre in London. In fact, the site that got broken into, which is very famous, had a couple of films made about it, yeah, was literally just down the road from us. And I still to this day don't understand how them guys managed to do it, even though I've seen the film, because the security at that place was incredible. Even when we used to walk past the door we used to get blokes walking out to sort of confront us. But yeah, they moved from being Aspect Internet to Aspect Technologies, because now we've moved forward, yeah, what with the advent sort of mobile phones and the internet on mobile phones, we weren't just dealing with websites anymore, we were dealing with apps on mobile phones. Like I say, the people that I work with, incredible, absolutely amazing people. Pleasure to work with them and see what they were up to. So we moved to Aspect Technologies. The three owners at the time, Rory, Nick and John, there was none of this business about them sitting in a little office and not knowing what was going on. Yeah, these three guys, Rory was the CEO. So these three guys sat in the open planned office along with the rest of us, so they knew what was going on from a day-to-day basis. They were up at the coalface along with everyone else, unlike where you see a lot of these companies now, the managing director or CEO or whatever they want to call them nowadays, yeah, locks himself in his little office, shuffles paper around, and when things go belly up, you ain't got a clue what's happened. Yeah, but Rory, Nick and John, excellent blokes. Really enjoyed working with them. So I did that for 5 years. I was working in London. I was living in a flat over the top of Hendon Central Tube Station eventually. But when I left the army in 2000, yeah, my life virtually fell apart except for getting a job, because break up with my marriage and everything, which led to me becoming an alcoholic. Because there I was on my own in London, living in a flat, 4 walls. I was either drinking when I left work or drinking in my flat. But I hid it from everyone. Alcoholics can do that, you know, very clever at doing it, which a lot of people don't understand. You can hide it quite easily. So, like I say, I was working there for 5 years. During that time, I actually moved out to Bicester, because the flat in London was costing me a fortune, absolute fortune, even in them days. God knows what it is now. But I moved out to Bicester, near Oxford. Now, I'd never served in Bicester, knew that there was a stores depot there, but I'd never served in Bicester itself. It was quite an interesting place. Bicester shopping village, hated by virtually everyone that lives in Bicester. It's a bloody pain in the backside, that place. Visited by people like David Beckham and his missus Posh Spice. Yeah, supposed to be cheap. I don't know what they class as cheap. It definitely ain't Bicester Village, I tell you. So I was commuting every day from Bicester into London. Now, one of the things was there was a couple of us from what by that time had become known as LB Icon. They'd been bought out by an American company. And there was about 3 or 4 of us that all moved out to Bicester and were commuting in every day. And one of the blokes, they called Sean, me and him, used to get a train in from Bicester, get into Marylebone Station. We'd then walk across to Baker Street, get on the tube. And one of the things was, you get to Baker Street tube station, and there it is, the platform is absolutely ram-packed. So the tube would come in, doors would open, people were trying to get off, other idiots are trying to get on while they're trying to get off. And they'd all cram into this toothpaste tube, sniffing each other out armpits and stuff like that. Whereas myself and Sean, we'd stay at the back of the platform And when that train pulled out, 2 minutes later, the next one comes in and it's empty. And we get a seat. And I'll never forget, it was the manager of Baker Street tube station came and spoke to me and Sean one day. And he said, I've been watching you two. He said, you got your head screwed on, haven't you? I said, how do you mean? He said, I've watched you. He said, you come down, you stand at the back of the platform, tube comes in, it gets packed, you stand and wait, next one comes in, it's empty. And I went, yeah. I said, I'm not going to get myself in there and get crammed into a space, yeah, where I'm sniffing someone else's armpit. It's a natural fact. I said, if you was to pack cattle into a truck the way that you allow the tubes to be packed, I said, you'd actually get arrested, mate. And he just giggled. And I think he realised I was right. But yeah, after 5 years of being there, I have been travelling up from Bicester to a little village called Anstey, just outside Leicester, to go to a pub quiz. And during that time, I used to ride my motorbike up, and during that time I met my lovely wife Lisa. Yeah. So, Lisa's 11 years younger than me, and she was a lovely girl, don't get me wrong, you know, but I never thought I ever stood a chance. You know, there I was in my sort of mid-40s, she was in her 30s, and yeah, we got on well, we used to get on really well. But what happened next was quite a surprise, and it was down to the fact of, during the pub quiz, we were asked, what date is Burns night? Now, with me, good morning, my love. I'm friendly, honest. Yeah, but one of the questions was, what date is Burns night? Well, I don't know why. After serving with 3 Scottish regiments, Scots Dragoon Guards, Black Watch and the Royal Scots, and I've been to many Burns suppers, I actually turned around and said it's the 29th of January. And Lisa was adamant it was 25th of January. And because of my military past and the fact I'd served with 3 Scottish regiments, the team went with my answer. And we lost the quiz by 1 point. But Lisa then spoke to Chris. Chris had invited her as the person that had invited me up to this pub quiz at the Crown in Anstey. Lisa got hold of my phone number, and the following morning I had a text message from Lisa saying, we're looking at having a Burns supper on the 25th, but you can turn up on the 29th if you wish. And I thought, oh, that's nice. But then I had a phone call from Chris to tell me that you do know that Lisa fancies you. I was quite shocked. Like I say, I was 11 years, or I am 11 years older than her. And I met up with Lisa, said to her about the fact I didn't want a relationship because after what had happened with my previous wife, I wasn't really looking at a relationship. I said I was quite happy to go for a drink or a meal, go to a cinema, you know, but I wasn't looking for a relationship. So like I say, that was 2005. That was in the February, I think it was, if I remember rightly. And then ironically, in the October of 2005, Lisa and I got married. And it was Lisa that asked me if I would marry her. She actually said to me about the fact that, what would you say if I asked you to marry me? And I said, well, go on then, ask me. And she asked me, and I said, go on then, yeah. Because everything felt right. everything in my life felt right. During the time that me and Lisa were going out, that was when I stopped drinking. I realised that if I wanted to have a relationship with Lisa, yeah, I would have to cut my drinking. Now, I knew that myself, I didn't think I could actually cut back on drinking. And to be honest, I don't think I really wanted to try and cut back on drinking. What I did was I actually stopped drinking altogether. And I haven't really drunk since. I've had 2 instances where I've been given alcoholic drinks inadvertently. One was when I went to go and watch a rugby match on the TV at a pub in Leicester, and my mate had actually asked for a Beck's Blue, brought it back. I didn't bother looking at the bottle and started supping it, and I got about 2/3 of the way through the bottle and I felt a bit queasy. Lisa noticed it, said to me, "You all right?" So I don't know, I feel weird. And we just happened to turn the bottle around and find that I've been given real Beck's, not Beck's Blue. Morning, boss. Right. And just last week at Centre Parks on Thursday after I played golf, I went and met up with a family for a family meal because we were leaving on the Friday, which was also my eldest stepdaughter's birthday. So on the Thursday night we went out for a family meal at a place called Huck's in Centre Parks in Nottingham. And when I got there, I was late getting off the golf course because there was all sorts of hold-ups. And I asked the young girl for a non-alcoholic wine. And she went away, came back. Again, I didn't think anything of it. She put it in front of me. I started drinking it. I'd only had 3 sips out of it when suddenly she came running over and said to me, "I'm really sorry, sir, but I haven't given you the non-alcoholic one." Now, Lisa was a bit upset over the whole thing, so was my mother-in-law, but it was a mistake, an inadvertent mistake, and at least the young girl had the sense to come over and tell me that she hadn't given me the non-alcoholic beer or wine. So she swapped it, didn't cost us a penny for the extra one. In fact, Lisa ended up finishing off the Chardonnay that she had initially brought out, and she bought me out a bottle of the non-alcoholic wine, which is nice, very nice. But like I say, men have got this thing about not talking about when they're having problems, and it's something I've learned that you've got to do. So like I say, there's various groups out there, Samaritans. This Andy's Man's Club looks good. For me, I did a quick look on the website that Jeff sent me. Thank you very much for that, Jeff, really appreciate it. And I'm going to start promoting them as well. Right, well anyway, I've dabbled on for long enough, I think. Yeah, you're probably all getting bored of me by now. So, if you're new to the channel, yeah, please consider subscribing. The reason I ask you to consider it is it's your choice, no one else's. Yeah, all this bit where people sort of badger you to become a subscriber to get the numbers up. I'm not interested in numbers. What I'm interested in is people that want to listen. Yeah. Also, if you do consider subscribing and you do subscribe, do us a favour, drop me a little message, let us know who you are, and I'll guarantee you'll get a nice little reply back. I like that human interaction. Yeah, there's nothing worse than people subscribe and get all their numbers up and they don't actually interact with the people. To me, that's just bad manners. But then again, I'm old school, aren't I? So, have a wonderful day. I'm going to do a tab as I normally do. Might do another couple of videos as I go around about different things. Yeah, but if you get the chance, get out in this absolutely beautiful weather. Yeah, You can't beat it. Getting outside and clearing your head for a couple of minutes. If you're in work and you're having a crap day, yeah, drop what you're doing, go outside, sit in the sunshine. The sunshine always brings out the best in anyone. So, all of you, take care of yourselves, stay safe. Oh, and I must promote my mate, Keith, Let's Tab 59. Yeah, he's done a couple of history videos recently. He'll try and tell you he's thick as a brick. He's not. This bloke does his research really well. So, Keith, hope to meet up with you in a couple of weeks, mate. Yeah, we'll go for a tab. But as me and Keith always say when we finish off, take care of yourselves, stay safe, and let's tab.